Racing on Sunday takes place out at Hollywoodbets Scottsville, where we've got 9 races on the program. Race number 1 is set to get underway at 12:12. Working alongside Dee's Dinant, and we'll get Dee's thoughts in a moment on race number 1. There's plenty of first-timers that take their place on the card. Races 1, 2 and 3 packed with first-timers. First race, Bainard Plate, fillies and mares, 1200 meters the distance, and horse number 11, Showgirl, has been the money mover here, from 7-1 in the market down 3-1, returning off a 575-day layoff. Number 10, Water Passion, 33-10. Amelia's Legacy, 10-1, down 6-1. So one of the first timers attracting support here. Winter Bliss at 6-1, at 7-1, and Better Ball. Those just further down the page. Number 15, Lewa's Flight, from 25-1 into 16-1. That's another first timer, this time from the Daryl Moore yard, that has attracted a bit of support. These, speaking to trainer Peter Muscat during the week, he mentioned that this filly, this daughter of Socrat, had fractured her pelvis and therefore the lengthy layoff. And despite the layoff, he seemed quite upbeat that she could put in a nice run first up.
Well, that is all we need to know, because I recall her having that injury, having chatted to the stable, and you mentioned a long layoff. Well, it's 24th of February 2024 that we last saw her. And yeah, you know, that form line would have definitely held up. As you can see, you know, 3 direct winners, and there would have been subsequent winners, because it's been a long time. But the engagement of Richard Fourie is what grabs my attention, because he's down for the race meeting, and the races, I think in races 1, 2 and 8 for Peter Muscat, and then he's picked up one ride that he ran second on last time out for Wendy Whitehead. So he's basically down for trainer Peter Muscat. So Peter must strongly fancy his chances on all 3 runners to engage the services of Richard Fourie. So we respect the money. And you mentioned that when you chatted to him for that interview, which is on Perfectly Placed, and just for our racing fans out there, I trust that all of them are well. If you don't have the interviews on our package here, that we're doing the race by race preview, it's all packaged in the Perfectly Placed interviews that Ryle did during the course of the week. So go and listen to that for number 11, Showgirl. It's not part of the exotics, but it's nice to get off to a start here. The unknowns are the first timers, but of the race runners, you know, What a Passion. I think Garrett Van Zyle's runner on that last start behind Fascination must have a chance. That form line has held up well. I see the blinkers are on. And then Aurelian for Dean Kannemeyer. You had to be encouraged by that first run. The horse drifted out in the betting market, but it was a good run, you know, beating more than half that field in a field of 14 runners. So, you know, of the race runners, I think, you know, even a horse like Winter Blessing many would look at. But of the race runners, I think, you know, 8, 10, 11 and 16, nothing too creative here, Rail. You know, those seem to be the horses that should make their presence felt. But I'll keep a close eye on any of these first timers as well.
Yeah, Dee, just to add to number 16, Aurelian, Nicolette Roscoe did mention that she thinks she could run into those into the quartet. She may just need the outing, returning off the rest. So that's with the 16th daughter of the United States. But yeah, with the first timers, certainly follow the market as we get closer to race time. What a Passion, certainly the horse that stands out when it comes to current form, and let's see how she shapes up as the second elect in the market, with all the support for horse number 11, Showgirl.
Well, we're on to race number 2. This is where the exotics will begin. It's a maiden plate over 1,200 meters. You need to get on the tote if you want to play the bar pot by 12:40. Let's bring up the field and we'll have a look at some betting. And at the time of recording, obviously, the betting is like so. So horse number 1 is trading at 9-2. Then we got horse number, we have to go all the way down to these two runners that dominate the betting, numbers 10 and 11. 13-10, horse number 10, and horse number 11, Johnny Boy. Well, here's another runner from the Peter Muscat stable that's attracted some betting support. Open up 2-1, now trading at 17-10. Well, it's clearly obvious on the form that numbers 10 and 11, we know they met each other last time out. Hollywoodbets Greyville, both were drawn wide. There wasn't much that separated the two. It all depends on which horse has made the most progress from run 1 to run 2. And it's very difficult to try and separate them, Raheel. But the market initially painted a picture that Dean Kannemeier's horse at 13-10 against 11 Johnny Boy at 2-1. You know, that was a big gap between the two, considering there wasn't much between them when they raced. 13-10, 2-1. But the market is now leveling itself out.
Yeah, Dees, I think bookmakers may have got hold of that replay and just seen how unlucky I thought number 10, 3 London Punt was on debut. He didn't get the cleanest of passages through over the final 300. He went for a run down the inside and he was sort of held up at a crucial point. And I thought that was a very encouraging run. Nicolette did mention that run did catch them out by surprise because his horse that doesn't show them sort of that much speed back at home, and they thought that it was a pleasing run from him on debut, and I'm sure he would have come on with a run under the belt from that form line. The horse that ran second did come out to run second again from the Wendy Whitehead yard, and Sun in My Pocket, I think the filly's name is, and she was just nabbed on the line midweek. So a cracking run from her. So those two horses from the form runners, they clearly set a standard, but I think we need to keep a very close eye on when it comes to the market with these first timers, the likes of the Marquis, Chikorito, Mysterious Eric. Those are 3 horses that will certainly catch the eye. And even number 1, Spane River from the Mike and Matthew de Kock yard. Callan Murray takes ride. I see that he's been priced up as the shortest of the first timers at around 9-2. There's been a bit of support for the 7 horse from 33-1 into 20-1. So I think it could be an interesting race. And with races 2 and 3, I think the form line could hold up in time to come.
Okay, that's the start of the Bipod. 10 and 11, the obvious selections. Keep an eye on number 1, Spania Rivier for Matthew and Mike de Kock. Keep an eye on number 6, the Marquis for Andre Nel and Platinum Racing, and if there's any money for any of the other first-timers. But the first-timer rule will come into play with the Bipod, and I think 10 and 11 will be good enough. We may even have a chance of doubling up in race 2.
Race number 3 on the day. This is the start of the place accumulator. It is a maiden plate over the 1200 meter trip. 1:15 is the off time. And your favorite here is horse number 5, Son of Rafif, trading at 8-10. Number 6, Cognac, open up around 4-1, shorten into 28-10. Number 9, Play World at 9-2. You can then get 12-1 and better bar those. These, when it comes to the form in the third race, number 5, Son of Rafif, he sets a standard on that second to Halala. On debut, I thought that was a terrific run from him, beaten 2.5 lengths. He's a horse that Yogas Governor is of the opinion that he is wanting further, but he's just giving him another run down the lane before they do go around the turn, and he's engaged the services of Samango Kumalo. That was a pleasing run from him on debut D's, and I think with natural improvement, he's certainly the horse that they all need to set their sights on. And when it comes to the place accumulator, I'm going to make him a confident PA banker in leg number 1.
I agree. Son of Rafif will definitely be a place accumulator banker. Buddy Boy coming through to enhance that form line. just finding one better on the day first up was a very good run from this horse, considering he blew out to 33-1 in the betting. Yeah, Samanga Kumalo up, Son of Rafid. I think Banker in the place accumulator. I'll go as far as to say maybe even in the bipot as well, number 3, because this first time a rule will come into play. I can't see these raced horses beating him. Of the comments, that you got during the course of the week, I don't know what confidence you got from the trainers, but I'm just having a look at the front of the form guide I'm using, which is a computer form. And a very strong comment here for one runner, number 9, Play World. Tony Riverland has a winning chance. That's just it. And Tony has had some very good horses that have come out recently.
Especially the one last week.
Yeah, winning first up. Yeah. And he goes in confidence, He's got his horses in a good space, number 1. They're running well. The results are clear to see. But more importantly, he's not a trainer that's renowned for winding them up to win first up. So I think these horses that are coming out, they're just winning on pure ability, and there's much more to come from them. So when he says has a winning chance, he's got horses to compare against. Yes. That's what we need to take into account when we get these comments from trainers, is that they got horses that have come out to win, so they know where these horses are in their progress with regards to training. So I think number 9, Play World, has to go into everything. You mentioned number 6, Cognac for Stuart Ferry. The money is down. Early anti-post betting support for Hollywood Racing. So, in leg 1 of the place accumulator, whilst we like number 5, Son of Rafif, if something has to go wrong, I think 6 and 9 could be the horses that you're looking for backup.
Yeah, those do seem to be the 2 popular first-timers in this contest here. Stuart Ferry was of the opinion that he's expecting a nice performance from Cognac, and he's quite a nice Son of Rafif that shows him some solid work back at home. So they're expecting a good run first up. And then number 9, Play World, Tony Riverland, certainly very upbeat with this horse's chances. And with number 4, Winter in London, Duncan Howes does believe that this horse will improve nicely. He was left on debut and he finished off his race nicely. And maybe you want to throw into trifectas and quartets at around 12-1 in the market. And even number 3, Clear the Runway, Mark Dixon believes that this horse could run a nice race on debut, and he's at a big price of around 33-1 in the market. So I think when it comes to trifectas, quartets could be a nice race to get involved, especially with numbers 5, 6 and 9 seeming to be the principal contenders here, Dees.
Yeah, I think 5, 6 and 9 as we mentioned, and to summarize, we're both going to go 5, a banker in the place accumulator and the bipot, and we are going in blind just on the first timers. And we are using the stable comments, and of course, go and listen into those stable interviews on Perfectly Placed. Well, it is the big one, the Pick 6, 1350, 1400 meters, and it's an open maiden. If you want to get on the tote by 1350, which is 10-2, the start of the Pick 6. We'll bring up the field and have a look at some betting. And it is like so. Number 1 is Cowboy Cartel at 8-1. Then we got number 3, Master Silvano at 7-2. We are then going to number 4, Pied Piper at 9-2. And number 4, Jet Black Fire did open up 18-10, some support into 17-10. Horse number 6 is Vencedor at 8-1, and then we got 9, which is Winding Power at 6-1. Yeah, I'm going to take a stance here and looking at the race with regards to the Pick 6, Rael. I'm going to just go 3 runners in numerical order, numbers 3, 4, and 5. If I had to tip them in order of preference, I'm leaning towards number 3, Master Silvano, as my outright pick. But, first up, I just want to congratulate Vengi Maswai on his success after his first win at Hollywoodbets Scottsville, to follow up so quickly at Hollywoodbets Greyville. And we wish him all the best during his training career. Hollywood Racing have supported him. He trains out of Ashburton, so we'll see how he progresses there. But they've given him some nice horses, mostly young horses in training, and he's already hit the turf running. So well done to Vengi. He's got Pied Piper, yeah. Yeah, Master Silvano is going to be my outright choice for Stuart Ferry. You know, from day dot, I remember chatting to Serena Mudley, and he says this horse will just about win in his next few starts. So one would say he's been slightly disappointing in his next 3 starts, that he hasn't won or he hasn't built on that debut performance. But it does look like the right type of field. Pied Piper, a lot of respect for him. I think 1400 meters, much better than the 1600 at his last 2 starts. And then Jet Blackfire for Yogesh Govender. On his last start, you can't ignore his chances at all. I think he is a runner, having improved nicely, going over 1400 with the cheek pieces. So 3, 4, and 5. In order of preference, I like to go 3, 5, and 4.
These, I agree with you on that order as well. Master Silvano, quite a racy sort, and he's a horse that doesn't particularly help himself in the running. He's a horse that can get a bit keen, and yeah, he's going to 1400 meters again. When you have a look at his pedigree, you'd think that it would suit him, but his best runs to date have been over the sprinting trip. But I think this is the right type of race for him. And then Jet Blackfire, cracking run last time out to Royal Sword. There is a line, Royal Sword, you can use him as a line horse. He ran second to Broadwalk Breeze, 2 lengths in front of Master Silvano, and he beat Jet Blackfire by 1.3 lengths. Strictly on that, you'd think that the edge would be with number 5, but I don't think there's going to be a lot to choose between 3 and 5. And then with number 4, Pied Piper, I think if the cheek pieces have the desired effect, because this horse was hanging badly last time out, and I think that cost him, I think he would have probably run second that day if he didn't hang the way he did. And if the cheek pieces have the desired effect, he's a horse dropping in trip. I can see him certainly making his presence felt in a big way. And just to echo your sentiments with regards to Vengi, he's certainly done well in the short time that he started, and yeah, 2 winners in a space of a week or so. So 3, 4, 5, I think those are going to be good enough, and I think this could be a nice race to get involved in a bet like a trifecta, because I think these 3 horses could certainly run first, second, and third Ds.
Yeah, if you liked horses and you can minimize your spend, then you just have to play it multiple times between numbers 3, 4, and 5 if you want to play a trifecta or quartet. The only other runner that you will consider maybe for the minor placings is number 9, Winding Power for Yogesh Govender, because that wasn't the worst debut, and I think 1400 meters definitely going to suit the horse much better, but does have the widest of draws to contend with. So we're looking for a form result here between 3, 4, and 5 in the Pick 6 and the Place Accumulator, and of course the Bipod.
Race number 5 on the card. This will be the start of Jackpot 1. 2 is the off time for the 5th race on the program. And it's a field of 11 runners that are set to compete here. Town Crier is the top one at 28 to 10. Gorgeous Cape trading at 33 to 10 in the market. Number 1, Roy taking off, is a 7 to 1 shot. Along with number 4, Skipple. Number 2, Connoisseur, 8 to 1. Beach Palace, 8 to 1. 12 to 1 and better. While those D's looking at this race, I like this horse a lot. Town Crier. I know that he is a newly turned 3-year-old. He's just been gelded and he's got 60 kgs on the back, having to concede weight to older, hard knocking horses. But I just think he's better than them. From gate number 3, if he's had enough time to recover after the gelding, which I believe he has, Stuart Ferry mentions he's in a good space and expecting a good run from him. The step up and trip to 1400 meters, the way he runs, I think will suit him. He's a smashing looking son of William Longsword, and I think that this is the ideal opening point for him straight out the main. And so I like his chances a lot. I will back him up with number 10, Gorgeous Cape, only because I think that 1400 meters, I think she's crying out for further. I think 1200 has been on the sharp side for her. Daughter of a Walmart for 4-toed mare, she wants ground. And I think if she gets a bit of luck in running, I make her the only danger. So 3 and 10, I think those are the 2 3-year-olds that will fight it out. Skipple, her penultimate run doesn't excite me. That was in a weak race where Flying Rainstorm was the winner. I know Copacabana did come through to win, but not sold on that piece of form. So I think 3 and 10. Those two horses for me, but I really like the look of Town Crier.
Okay, number 3, Town Cry. It's not often that I go for horses that first up out the maidens, but there will be horses that will grab your attention, and he certainly did when he looked the part last time out. Money was down, won a good race, Boardwalk Breeze coming through to enhance that form line. Yeah, Skipple for Matthew and Mike de Kock. I'm not saying that the horse doesn't go on the poly track, but that was her first trial on the poly track. She just seemed to be one pace. The writing was on the wall when she drifted out in the betting market. I'll give her another chance in the pick 6. I agree with Ryle with 10, Gorgeous Cape. Don't know how much more to come from her, but I definitely think she'll appreciate the extra distance. Indecent Proposal is in excellent form. So is Nicholas Patel. He arguably got the strongest form line in the race behind Yanakis, Dawn Surprise, the Mars, Price Platinum, all winning. But I got a runner here, racing fans. Don't leave this horse out of anything. This is the value bet on the card for me, number 6, Quinn's Time. Go and look at the replay of that last start. 2,000 meters, I think was stretched, did not see out the trip. Still a young horse, maybe in time he'll get 2,000 meters. Was one pace throughout, but only beaten 3 lengths behind King Bavarian. This is going to suit him much better. He's a 14-1 shot and a nice ride here for Daryl Daniels. I know that the horse is quietly fancied by the stable as well, as he was last time out when he attracted some betting support. But I think the 1,400 meter trip, the drop in distance at 14-1, don't let this one run loose. That's going to be my value bet in the race. Horse number 6, Quinn's Time. Each way for me, 14-1, number 6.
That's horse 6, so a nice inclusion into a bet like the pick 6. If he were to arrive, well, you'll certainly be dropping a lot of tickets. But let's see how the 3-year-olds do shape up. Numbers 3, 4, and 10. Both these are myself of the opinion that number 3, Town Cry, could be quite progressive and a horse to certainly keep an eye on.
Are we on to the 6th race? It's a D stakes, 1,000 meters the distance. This will be Jackpot 2. There are 9 races on the go, and Jackpot 2 is worth a go, I would say, having a look at the races coming up, races 6, 7, and 8. But we firstly have a look at the betting. And in race number 6, number 1, Capellino is at 5-2. Number 2, Navajo Dancer, 8-1. Then we got number 4, Vernon Princess at 28-10. 5, Wherever I Lay My Hat, at 7-1. Number 7, Fascination at 33-10, and 8, T-Rex at 9-2. Yep, you know, this race is a race where I said field or 2 runners. So I'm going the 2-runner route for the show, and maybe, you know, in the pick 6 or Jackpot 2, whichever horse, when I decide, you know, to see how the spend is going. One of them will be field and the other will be just the 2 runners. The 2 runners going to be Wendy Whitehead's runners. I think she does hold the key up. Capellino for Richard Fourie. I think he would have definitely got to know the horse last time out, which was a good second behind Fate of Fortune. He's only got the 4 rides, as I mentioned, 3 for Peter Muscat, and he's only taken another, and that's number 1, Capellino. But I'm not going to discount the chances of the stable companion, number 8, T-Rex. You know, not the best of form at the course, nor on the turf, but the last 2 runs have been very good on the poly track, and if he can just transfer that form onto the turf, I think he'll go well. So I'm just going to include numbers 1 and 8. The unknown in the race is number 7.
I like number 8, T-Rex, quite a bit. I just feel that the race could be run to suit him, and I think he's overpriced at 9-2 in the market, considering his last 2 rounds. Unlucky 2 starts back, and then from his last form line, Bank Street did come out to run second against in a stronger race next time out. So I think with just 57 on the back, the speed around him, I think he'll get a nice toe into the race. I think he's going to run a big race. But you mentioned you thought it was field or 2 horses. There's a horse that I think's got a chance here at 20 to 1. So I'm going to suggest that the guys go field in this race off the pick 6. This horse, William West. Last time out, 1200 meters, he doesn't see out the trip. When you have a look at his Cape form, his best form has been over 1000 meters. 2 starts back, he may have just needed that run. First up in the province, he was 6.5 lengths behind Fate of Fortune, 5 lengths behind number 1 Capolino, and he finds himself 5 kgs better off at the weights with Capolino. I just feel reverting back to the minimum trip of 1000 could suit him. This horse once upon a time ran half a length to Otaniqua. If he can reproduce that form in this race, I know it was sometime back, just over a year ago, last year, but he's dropped in the ratings. I think he's capable on his day, William West, at 20 to 1 in the market. So he's the type of horse that I would want to arrive for a bet like the pick 6, because you're certainly going to be dropping lots of tickets. And I think even this horse, number 5, wherever I lay my hat, on his penultimate run to Music is Life, that form line has held up very, very nicely. Music is Life winning, Lion's Eye also coming through to win from that form line. So I think this horse, with the 4 kgs off the back, I can see him being competitive, and he finds himself better off at the weights with number 1 Capolino on that last run as well. So I think it is a trappy race. I like T-Rex at 9 to 2 as perhaps a roving banker, but 3 and 5, I think 2 horses that can't be discounted.
Okay, 2 nice outsiders there for Ryle, and when you start tipping horses at 20 to 1, tells you what you think of the race. And it's amazing how horses just go backwards from a run behind Otaniqua, who's a smart horse, to where he finds himself today. But the social squad, they are, quite shrewd in their purchases with horses in training, and they may have found one that they've sent to Louis Coursinier to win very early for the syndicate in number 3, William West, at a big price. But it looks like a race where you're either going to play it narrow, short, minimize the spend, or you're going to play the field.
Race number 7, 15:35 is the off time. It's a progress plate over the 1000 meter trip. Favorite is horse number 6, Hierarchy, at 15 to 10. Number 8, Lohamba Pombili, talented 4-year-old Galdian. He is at 2 to 1. Open up at 22 to 10, now 2 to 1. Number 5, Dark Matter at 5 to 1. Major Tommy at 6 to 1. It's 14 to 1 and better for those. These progress plates, so when it comes to the conditions of the race, you tend to look to the best weighted column for guide. And the Hierarchy, Lohamba Pombili, they are well clear of the balance here, and they are the top 2 in the market. And this filly Hierarchy, she ran an absolute blinder last time out behind Princess of Gaul in 3rd in the debutante. Speaking to Duncan House during the week, he did mention that you need to ignore that penultimate run. He found things wrong with her after the run. She wasn't particularly great going into the run, and she was in season as well. So when you have a look at her form, barring that run, she's got solid form, a win and 2/3, 51 kgs on the back. She's an improving daughter of Erupt, and a filly that Duncan thinks quite a bit of. This could be a nice starting point for her as a 3-year-old. It's a race where there's lots of speed. I think she'll get a nice toe into the race. Muzieni with 51 on the back. She's definitely a horse that I think is going to go very, very close to winning. But then you've got the other side of the coin with number 8, Lohamba Pombili. He's been around, he's taken on some solid horses, but he's got to give 10.5 kgs away to an improving 3-year-old.
Yeah, it's a race that I'm intrigued by, because when I was having a look at the declarations, it was very clear to see how these trainers accepted. There's only 2 males in the race, big numbers 2 and 8, and the balance are all fillies. So very interesting the way they accepted for this race. And Ryle touched on the best weighted column, which is clearly topped by Hierarchy ahead of Lohamba Pombili. Then there's a gap to Karari Rose, Icy Eleanor, and Major Tommy. I'm stumped when it comes to this race, because I can't make a decision, because these ratings are firstly under scrutiny, and secondly, are these young horses good enough to take on these older hard knockers? Well, it seems that way with the low weights that they have on their back. So I'm going to just go with numbers 2, 5, 6, and 8 in all bets, and that brings it down to half the field, which is good enough for me. Number 2, Major Tommy, guard pullers runner. I think that he's capable of achieving much more than he has in his career to date, winning very early in his career at home at the track. I think he'll go well. Horse number 5, Dark Winter. Well, she certainly showed herself well, winning first up as a 3-year-old filly and pushed up from an 84 to a 92. She looks like she's above average. She looks like she's gonna, go on and win much more than 2 wins to date. And then 6, Hierarchy. When you have a look at the way she's been placed as a young horse, it tells you what the stable think of her. Group 1 company, Alan Robertson, and of course the debutante stakes as well, where she was a good third behind a horse that's very highly rated from the Dean Kannemeyer stable that may come out next week, Saturday, which is going to be a big race day at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. And then the horse number 8, Luhamba Pambili, well, his form says it all, the 4-year-old, and he was a fluent winner of his last start. So I'm taking no chances here, Ryle. I'm going to go 2, 5, 6, and 8 in all bets. And if anything else has to win, then that will just throw a spanner into the ratings of these horses.
Yeah, it certainly will. Race number 7 could turn out to be quite a trappy contest, but I'm going to stick to the best weighted column and the way the market has got them. I'm going to agree with number 6, Hierarchy. I think she's a talented filly, and I think that this is the right race for her. And then the backup with number 8, Luhamba Pambili. But that is race number 7.
Well, let's move along to race number 8 now. We at the final 2 furlongs of the race meeting, races 8 and 9, and this is over 1,600 meters. And as we bring up the field, let's have a look at some betting here for race number 8. So this race, Ryle, is a class 4, and horse number 1, Terminator, is at 4-1. We go to number 3, Master Bomber, at 5-1. Number 6, Clinto Star, is at 8-1. There is money for 7, Golden Rule, from 22 to 10 into 17 to 10. 8, Down by the River, at 6-1. And 9, Global Movement, is an 8-1 shot. I'm just going to give you short comments on runners here, Ryle, and maybe you can try and sum it up after that. Number 1, Terminator, Andre Nel, Platinum Racing, draw 1. We know how he enjoys racing. They're not going to change that style. They're not going to waste that barrier position. He could be the horse to fetch as they turn into the straight. Number 3, Master Bomber. If I'm pushed for a top choice, this is going to be my choice. Last time out, he was just given a patient ride by Serena. Look at the ground he make up from the 400 to finish. 11.5 lengths to 3.5 lengths in a matter of 400 meters. He was finishing off strongly over that 1,600 meter trip, and he's nicely drawn now at 3. I think it's a good ride here for Calvin Habib. Then we go on to horse number 7, Golden Rule, for Peter Muscat and Richard Fareeb. Well, they put the money down last time out. It doesn't show in the form guide I'm using. The horse was actually 33-1 at one stage, shortened down to 10-1, and then eased out to 16-1 come race time. But that day, Samanga Khumalo rode the horse like he was an odds-on shot from that wide draw. Never in doubt is the word I'll use to describe that victory. Can he go back-to-back? Well, he still may be under the radar when it comes to his rating. Horse number 8, Down by the River. Com Naidu was disappointed with this horse's effort last time out because he was expecting a strong each-way chance. Well beaten, 5 lengths behind Candice Bass's runner, Turbo 20, that won first up in the province. And then 9, Global Movement. Well, last time out he was running on, drawn 12 out of 12 over 2,000 meters. But I like the fact that they're dropping him in distance with a nice low weight of 53.5 kgs. So those are going to be my numbers here, Rael. Numbers 1, 3, 7, 8, and 9. And that will amount to 5 runners. So this is where I need your help, because I can't include 5 horses. I only can include 4.
Yes.
If it's going to be 5, it's going to be the field.
These, I think it's a competitive race. Golden Rule, I think 16 to 10 in the market following his last one. I can certainly see this horse backing it up, and given that Terminator is in the race, I think he could get a nice run through in transit. Richard Free gets on his back for the first time. What's interesting is that Samanga is the only man to get the best tune out of this horse. He rode him early on as a 2-year-old, went fourth, and then went winning, and then last time out as well. So maybe he just gels with the horse. It will be interesting to see how Richard teams up with the son of Canford Cliffs. I thought 6 points for his last win was a fair penalty. 22 to 10 down, 16 to 10, definitely a runner. This was global movement D's that I'm involved in. I actually think at 8 to 1 in the market, I think he's going to run a big race. The guys have gone for him in a big way at his last 2 starts, and unfortunately things haven't mapped out ideally. Last time out, it was just too far going 2,000 meters. He doesn't stay the trip, and he also didn't have the greatest of runs through in transit. He was over racing, so things need to go his way. He's a funny horse, this son of Flower Valley. He needs a pace to be on. He needs to be able to settle in the running. I think the day he settles is the day he'll go close to winning, and I'm hoping it could be on Sunday, given that Terminator's in the race, and Terminator likes to go some decent fractions out in front. Smaller field, Muzi back in the irons, 53.5 kgs on the back. I know he's taken on weak at his last 2 and he hasn't been able to put his best foot forward. But if you look past his last 2 runs, he's been running against similar type of horses. So I think at 8 to 1, he needs to go into the play. Terminator, obvious inclusion. Golden Rule, obvious inclusion. And then it's between numbers 3 and 8. Well,
3 is my top choice. So if it's between 3 and 8, I'll help you out there. 3 is going to be my top choice.
Okay, well in that case, I can't take 3 out then, these.
Yeah, so you're going to have to take out horse number 8.
8 then.
Okay, 1, 3, 7, and 9, and horse number 8 through a process of elimination, playing with the rule, which is a very simple one. If it's more than half the field, then the field has to go in. But 1, 3, 7, and 9 here in leg number 5 of the pick 6, and hopefully those 4 runners can be good enough to survive. Ryle, your each way play, my each way play is number 3.
I'm going to go with the 9 horse D's Global Movement.
Okay, likes the horse. Part of the syndicate as well is young Rahel, number 9 Global Movement. So 3 and 9 could be your roving bankers if you're playing trifectas and quartets.
Race number 9, 16:45 is the off time, 1200 meters is the distance. It is a class 4, and favourite here, number 8 Wild Justice, 18 to 10 down, 16 to 10. Number 11 Circumbendibus at 9 to 2, Counterattack 6 to 1. Chocolate Bomb 12 to 1 down, 7 to 1, 7 to 1 Real War. It's then 12 to 1 and better ball. Those with number 1 Chocolate Bomb, trainer Peter Muscat did mention that he hasn't had much time to freshen this horse up, given that he's on a 7-day backup, but last time out, he mentioned that 1400 meters, he moved up to a point and then he just didn't find much after that. He believes that with a further rating drop, down 3 points in just a space of 7 days, back to 1200 meters, he could, if he puts his best foot forward, he could be a factor here, and therefore you could see a bit of support for him in the market. But I really like the way this horse, Wild Justice, finished off his race on debut. That was a day that Gareth will remember forever, winning 6 races on that race meeting. And this son of Vercingetrix, the word was that he's a nice horse, but the 1,000-meter trip could just be on the sharp side for him, and he still managed to deliver the goods. I think stepping up to 1,200 will suit him quite nicely. He's half-brother to Salukwe, who ran an absolute blinder in the Hollywoodbets Durbanville, winning 3rd. And given an opening mark of 87, we'll see whether that mark is fair for him. But I think he seems to be quite an exciting sort.
Yeah, he looks like a progressive type. I remember chatting to Garrett on that day, and he was expecting this horse to, pretty much win that day, and the horse obliged. I'm just going to let the racing fans into something. Yeah, you can, use it or, lose it. It is Ravi Padiachi's birthday on the 21st of September, and I think Garrett may have just planned this for the man that is a loyal supporter of his stable. That's Lucky Vest 12cc. Ravi, I think, had 2 winners when Garrett had that 6-timer at Hollywoodbets Scottsville, and this was one of them. So it is his birthday, so keep an eye on his runners. I think he's got Indecent Proposal earlier on as well. But 8 Wild Justice, wouldn't surprise me to see the horse follow up. In the pick 6, however, Ryle, number 1, Chocolate Bum. Going to have a look at that replay of his last start. The money was down. He was never going to get in from that wide draw. The others made it a bit tough for Marco van Rensburg, and I think that was very costly in the early part of the race. He's drawn one down the straight, 1200 meters. I think will suit him much better. We must not forget, when these horses are being supported, not to let them run loose next time out. So number 1, Chocolate Bomb, definitely gets my vote. Ibele, I am, as always, he gets a mention from me each time he races, just because of his rating drop. There's money for him, 25-1 into 16-1. Horse number 6, Real War, a massive runner here with Craig Zaki up. On his last start behind Circumbendibus, not much between himself and Glenn Cotson's horse, and I think it'll be the same this time round. 1, 2, 6, 8 and 11 are going to be minimum. 1, 2, 6, 8 and 11. That's 5 runners. But if I had to pick one more runner, it will be number 5, Dapper. If you are to ask me for my outright choice here, Ryle, it will be number 11, Circumbendibus. I was really impressed the way he won first up in the province.
Yeah, that was certainly a very nice win, and there was lots of talk for one of the 3-year-olds in that race, Exoset, I think it was, from the Mike and Matthew de Cockyard, but this horse put them to bed quite comfortably that day, and only going up 3 points could be quite a reasonable penalty for that, and course and distance certainly suits him. So that is race number 9, 1, 6, 8, 11, and D's likes 2, and the 5-horse Dapper as well. That's 6 horses now.
Yeah, it becomes too much. If I had to just narrow it down, if I just put my head around this, 1, definitely on what I saw last time out. Now 1200 meters better. Number 6, I like. 8, we don't know how good the horse is. It could be a wonderful birthday present to Ravi with a horse that won first up. And then 11, Circumbendibus. Yeah, if I have to minimize it, I'll go 1, 6, 8 and 11. But 11 being the horse that I like for the roving banker and each-way play. Yeah,
that form line could certainly be seen to the forward numbers 1, 6 and 11, all finished behind Circumbendibus. And then the unknown quantity in the race being Wild Justice, horse number 8 at 16-1 in the market. So that is it for the 9 races on the program at Hollywoodbets Scottsville on Sunday. All the very best.